Now we begin cementing a lot of parts onto the deck before we proceed to the bottom of the hull. Since everything has already been painted, I will use CA to attach all of the parts. First, there's a number of ventilators or funnels. The small, round life rings are attached to each side of the helm area. Attach the antenna and the windscreen next. The steering wheel is placed in the slot provided in the helm. The mast is now cemented in place. .50 caliber twin guns are now into the holes just aft of the helm. Note the platforms were already cemented in place. Before you attach the two sets of forward and aft torpedoes, note they should only go in a certain way. The directions are not very clear at this juncture, so test fit them prior to putting cement on the pins. I say this now because I did not notice they should go in a certain way and had to pry up a couple and reset them properly. The large ventilators go in around amidships. Medium ventilators go in towards the aft. For a small boat, there is quite a number of ventilators present, and some of them are very small. Be careful not to slip them out of the tweezer. A smoke generator is now placed at the stern. The 20mm gun and the guardrail are cemented in place in the aft section. The guardrail only goes in one way. The gun can be faced any way you like. I chose directly aft. A jackstaff is placed in the hole at the bow, while the American flag is positioned at the stern after reaming out the hole here. Another 2 vents are installed. These should be all of the vents you have left to cement in place. Several stanchions are cemented in place on the starboard side of the hull that are positioned between the helm and the bow. The last items to cement in place on the deck are the gunners, the captain, and the running lights. If you have parts left over that don't go on the hull, you have missed something. You are now finished with the deck. Put aside to allow all the cemented parts to adhere solidly in place. TCP-018 gloss is sprayed at 28 to 30 psi on the hull so we can apply decals. I am using a Vega 2000 airbrush as before. As with the majority of our World War I and World War II military colors, they all have a matte finish as called out in documents of the period. I chose TCP 1026 Navy Brown 3A to apply to the stand for this PT boat model. You may choose to leave the stand in the molded gray color or paint it any other color you wish. A bright red or orange would really pop. There are only 2 decals that are needed on the hull. Be careful, since this is a 1 to 102 scale model, there is no aftermarket decals available if you break one like I did on the port side. You can see the decals can be set using Walther's decal solution, the best on the market in my opinion. If you should damage a decal, Atlantis Models will send you a replacement sheet, but that means taking the damaged decal off and waiting for the replacement. The American flag decal is attached to the stand at the stern. Note, it is a wraparound decal and not easily positioned and set in place. Be very cautious. I am nearly done with the PT-207 model. I now cement the 3 propellers onto the shafts. Next are the 3 shaft supports, followed by the 3 rudders. Note, that I placed the 3 rudders on a slight angle so it looked like the boat was turning. Now, the shafts can be cemented to the hull and into the supports. Set aside to dry, as the last step is attaching the deck. Carefully cement the deck onto the hull. Note, since you have fragile parts on the hull and the deck, handle this phase cautiously. Apply CA to the entire rim of the hull so that the deck will be secure and sit flat. Your PT-207 model is now complete and ready for display. This PT-207 Atlantis model kit was much better designed than the helicopter kit that was put together a few months ago. The only issues was a lot of flash that had to be removed from the parts and that the decals are somewhat fragile. If you have any questions about techniques explored in this video or general questions about this build, please post your questions in the comments section below.